So there happen to be a handful of weapons in this game that have eluded players for a very long time, one of which is the Dark Winter SMG, and in my opinion, it's one of the best weapons in the game without a doubt. Now the reason I'm putting this build video together today, it is June 24th, and as you can see on screen, the Dark Winter SMG is on sale at the Countdown vendor. You will be able to get this thing guaranteed between now and June 30th, and all you need to do to buy this is play one round of Countdown on Challenging. At that point, once you've completed it, you will have more than enough resources to buy this weapon guaranteed. Please do not miss out on this opportunity because, as I said, it's one of the best weapons in the game, and I know a lot of players have been trying to get it for a very long time. Now with all that being said, in today's video I'm going to highlight one of my favorite all-time builds based around this weapon, 4-piece Hunter's Fury, Sokolov, Memento backpack. And the reason I'm starting off this video giving you that quick breakdown is because a lot of you out there may know this build. I never want to waste your time. However, for those of you out there who would like the full breakdown, that's what you're going to get really quick. Now as always, we're going to jump right into it, starting with the specialization. You can see I'm using Gunner, and we've chosen that for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, you get some extra armor on kill, you get a reload speed increase, but the primary reason is because it does give you access to the Banshee Pulse. And always remember, if you happen to choose a different specialization, always make sure to have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now my primary weapon for this build, needless to say, is the Dark Winter, and the reason this is so effective is because of its talent Perfect Killer. Killing an enemy with a critical hit grants 90% crit hit damage for 10 seconds. That is an absolute lifetime in this game. And as you've heard me mention previously, when it comes to run and gun builds, this is one of the best weapons for it. At least that's what I think. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. My secondary weapon for this build is an ACS-12 with the talent Close and Personal. Killing a target within 7 meters grants 30% weapon damage for 10 seconds. Remember, this build is meant for close quarters combat. You're always going to be close to NPC. Now moving on to the gear itself, you can see we are running 4 Hunter's Fury, 1 Sokolov, and the Memento backpack. Starting with the mask, it's the first of 4 pieces of the Hunter's Fury gear set. We're running 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses. 2 pieces 15% shotgun and SMG damage, 3 pieces 20% armor on kill and 50% health on kill, and 4 pieces Apex Predator. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. And once again, for those of you out there who are getting used to a run and gun build, that talent is going to save your ass time and time again. I can promise you that. Now moving on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of Sokolov. That is going to give us an extra 10% SMG damage bonus, and I'm running with a talent Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. That's going to stack up to 20 times. Now moving on to the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves, they are the 3 remaining pieces of the Hunter's Fury gear set. And one thing you will notice, my fellow agents, is that I'm going to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage on every single piece of gear. Last but not least, we have the Memento backpack. This is easily the best backpack for a run and gun build in the game because when you take out an NPC, you're running around non-stop, picking up trophies, you're getting extra weapon damage, armor, and skill efficiency. And for those of you out there who may not have the Memento backpack, I recommend hitting up Countdown, set your targeted loot to backpacks. Wish you nothing but the best of luck, and in the meantime, you can use a 2nd piece of Sokolov, and I recommend using either Bloodsucker or Adrenaline Rush as your talent on that backpack. Anyway, as far as my skills are concerned, I'm running with a combination of the Crusader Shield and the Banshee Pulse, or the Assault Drone, depending on what I'm doing in the game. But in the gameplay footage you're going to see, it is with the Banshee Pulse. When we take a look at the numbers, you can see I'm sitting at 59% crit hit chance and 126.9 crit hit damage. And remember, those numbers are going to be dependent on not only the gear you have equipped, but having a Shade Watch of level 1000. Hope this helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to start to wrap this up and leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. You know, I think it's more than safe to say, and good morning, by the way, to everyone out there. think it's pretty damn safe to say that we all have certain builds in this game that are just staples for our gameplay. And this is, for me, one of those builds. You know, I've been running with this thing ever since it was introduced into the game. They made a buff to the Dark Winter a while back. It's just an absolute monster. And the fact that a lot of people out there have been trying to get it, you've had no luck, and now you can buy it, please take that opportunity, right? The other thing I want to mention is you'll notice in the gameplay footage, I have no global modifiers whatsoever. And I've chosen to put build videos together without them on, so that way you know, regardless of when you see this video, you know the kind of damage the build can do without any certain events going on. So, anyway, that's all I got for this video, my friends. Thank you once again for everything. I'm doing okay. A lot of you have reached out asking about my health. I'm hanging in there. There's a lot of moving parts, but every day seems to somewhat get better. But I'm still here. No worries on that. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
now.
We'll bury our dead and move the supplies you recovered back to the bridge. We'll find Danvers and make him pay for this. There's more cleaner activity in Dumbo. I'll check in with scouts and call if we find anything.